Hey YouTube, how's it going? Well, we've reviewed plenty of other people's incidents. Today, it's time for some of my own medicine. And we're going to have a look at this incident from Springfield. This was during a contest launch at Springfield and was way closer than I wanted it to be. Unfortunately, the wide-angle lens of the GoPro makes things look further away than they actually are. So in real life, this was way too close. But how can such an incident occur? And how can we avoid it in the future? Well, let's dive in, shall we, and have a look what happened. So the tow started off almost normal. So the only problem was the tow plane was really slow and it was taking ages to get up to release height. So because of the slow climb, I released early at about 1,500 feet above the ground rather than the normal 2,000.
November, Juliet.
And it was really just to speed things up. During a contest launch, we have a designated tow drop zone, which is where we all get released in the same place, so that it makes for a fair contest. Now, I did get towed up to the drop zone, but because the tow plane was so slow, I was at a lower altitude, 1,500 feet, when I released. Now, I then spent some time trying to find a thermal to climb up in. There were some other gliders around me, none of them were really going up, and I was exploring the area, trying to find something that would get me a good climb. I managed to climb up a little. This was a blue day, so there weren't any clouds around to help indicate where we should be going. I made a few turns, then straightened out, and then started a right-hand turn, and that's when the incident occurred. When we turn, we're always looking into the turn to make sure there's no aircraft in the way. And it was during that looking that I saw the tow plane and the glider coming up to meet me. I then took evasive action on the stick, which was tighten up the turn to avoid going into their path. And you can see I grabbed the stick really hard and started flicking through the screens on the display there. So why didn't I see them? I think I started off flying away from them for a considerable amount of time before I started that right turn. So they would have been approaching, getting closer and closer, but I was literally just facing the wrong way, and I didn't see them until I started the turn. So why didn't I see them earlier than that when I was doing the other turns? And it would have been because they would have been lower, climbing up to meet me. There would have been the visual noise of the background, and you can see how hard it is to spot the aircraft, especially if they're coming straight on at you. But even in this video, when they fly right in front of the camera, it's still hard to spot the plane. And you can see the glider easily when they're up in the air, because they stand out in contrast against the sky. But when they're down lower, below the horizon, in your field of view, you just can't see them. So almost exactly the same time that I took evasive action on the stick, the FLARM also went off. Now, I've since discovered, since this incident, my FLARM has been configured incorrectly, and it's been trying to receive data from the wrong input source. Now, what confused me, I've been flying with it like this for quite a long time, because occasionally it would work. The glider on tow had a FLARM, and that's what it detected. The tow plane normally has a FLARM, but it was out of action during this time. So a near miss like this really gives you a bit of adrenaline, and it took me a little time to actually calm down after that incident. Then we proceeded to fly the contest task as normal. Once we landed, we were able to have a good chat to all the other pilots involved, both the tow pilot and the other glider on tow. After talking to the tow pilot, apparently he did see me and simply didn't expect me to turn that direction. The glider on tow happened to be the CFI, or Chief Flying Instructor, at the club. So we then filled out all the incident reporting forms that we had to here in New Zealand. And it's really so Gliding New Zealand can identify trends and patterns and incidents like this and take corrective action if needed. So let's have a look at the track. This is of my glider and the glider on tow. You can see my track is the one going round and round circles. And you can see how I was flying in parallel to the tow plane and glider on tow for a period before I started my right turn. And as we stepped through them, you can see that where I had to take evasive action, and the tow plane took action as well and turned right. Now, I'm pretty confident if I hadn't spotted the tow plane and taken evasive action, it would have been really close. What lessons can we learn from this incident? Normally at contests we have a designated turning direction for all gliders anywhere near the airfield. Now in this contest we didn't. If we had a prescribed set direction for turns, then the tow pilot would have had a better expectation of which direction I was going to turn in. After this incident, we changed the contest rules so that everyone had to do left-hand turns. Another lesson is to be very diligent and careful around tow drop zones during a contest. Obviously, you want to try and get out of the drop zone if you can, as soon as you can. Tow pilots need to give gliders a bit more space. You basically need to expect gliders to turn any direction at any time. There's no guarantees, even if you've got the rule saying you have to do left-hand turns. Get a FLARM. So if you don't have a FLARM, get one. If you do have a FLARM, make sure it's working properly. Make sure it's updated every year. Make sure that the aerial antenna is in the correct location and working well. And make sure it's actually receiving data. Lookout is obviously critical. In this case, if I hadn't been looking as I did my turn, I would have probably collided with them. So it just goes to show how critical it is. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. If you want to support the channel, give this video a like. And if you haven't already, subscribe and click the bell notification if you want to be notified about future videos. If you want to help out even more, we've got t-shirts and hoodies available in our online store. Check it out at pureglide.nz and we'll be able to make more videos in the future because of your support. So thanks for watching, we'll catch you next time.